Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we're going to do another clutch update video. This is one I'm really excited about, and I do have a keeper in my pocket that I will show you, plus a bunch we're going to sell. And then we're going to jump over to Patreon, because not all clutches go as you expect, right? And there's a couple of these that we're having to do a little work on. We're going to show you how we do an assist feeding on Patreon with a full amount of swear words. Let's go ahead and give it a shot, right? So we're going to do that. It'll be our first time attempting to assist feed one of these. These were all born big babies, so we could let them go a little longer before we had to start doing that. But it is time for a couple of them. So what is the pairing? I guess we should start there. Well, before we start there, go ahead and click like and subscribe and do all that for me. I'll wait. You done? You lied. You didn't do it. Go do it. Okay, now that you've actually done that, you probably still have it, but I hope you have. Let's share the clutch. It is a super pastel exanthic, meaning every baby is going to be het exanthic. So I'm not going to say it's blah, 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 het exanthic. Listen to me. Every baby is het exanthic. Every baby will be at least pastel. It was also bred to a calico. So we're working some calico, some pastel, some spider, okay, start that over again. We're working pastel, another pastel, spider, calico, and exanthic. So the best thing we could hit would be a super pastel calico, to be a spider het exanthic. So it would be a killer bee het exanthic. So did we get one? Stay tuned. We might have. I'm going to tell you a secret. If we did, I didn't keep it. Why would you ask, would I not keep one if I got it? Well, I didn't keep it because I was looking for a female and I did not want spider. So if I have one, I wasn't planning on keeping it because, again, trying to avoid spider on that side because the male I'm going to use will likely have spider. But we did get this. So what are we looking at here? Well, this is a super pastel calico. I told you I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. 100% het exanthic female. How cool are these things, and how do we know? Well, the color, the head will tell you super pastel. Obviously, there's no spider in there. The calico is written all over this thing on the tail. Look at that. Really, really nice. It's going to continue to get more and more white as it ages. However, all the extra yellow in there, really, you need to poop. Snake needs to poop. Don't poop on my tablecloth. It's very nice. But anyway, really nice snake. This is what we were really looking for because we can always add the spider into it with visual exanthic. As a matter of fact, I have a killer bee exanthic spider that's not related. That's what's going to go to this eventually, is the plan to try to make some lesser bee, there's a lesser, but maybe make some killer bees and some killer calabees and all that are exanthic. So we do have a plan, and that'll be all at least super pastel at minimum. 50% of them, or a minimum will be super pastel het exanthic. Yes, sorry, a lot of genes at play. My brain has to do a whole lot of this to get it right. So that's why I kept this little girl here. Plus, she's just beautiful. And I really like what calico does on the tail. I will tell you, in some ways, a pastel calico can look a little nicer than a super pastel calico at this age. So just keep that in mind. Put her back, because you may see some of those that you just go, hot damn at, and wonder why I'm not keeping. I'm keeping that one because I need the gene count to ensure I get what I want. But if you also want a super pastel het exanthic calico, I got you. I got you because I got two of those. Here is the other one. It looks very similar to the first one. Let me show you the tail on it. Clear as can be that calico is in there. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. You can really see it. Obviously, you can see the super pastel. There's the head, the coloration, it's the way the markings are. This one is a male, though, so I wasn't going to keep it because it's a male. So this is one we are going to be releasing. Of course, it'll be released on Patreon first. Another reason to go check that out and sign up. $5 to get early access to animals. On our top level, not only do you get early access, you get 35% off of your entire purchase, which is pretty awesome if you want to buy a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of cool. Let me put this one back here. And I promise I will stop with the self-advertising for the rest of the video. Maybe I will. So we hit this one here. Now this is just a little bit of coconut I picked up with it. A simple bumblebee, 100% het exanthic. So no calico in here. It's not a killer, something like that. So, not as special to a lot of people, but I will tell you, if you're looking at making some really cool exanthic stuff, this will be a nice breeder for you. to get that in. If you're wanting to get in at a lot lower cost, paying for hets as opposed to visuals to get that start, great way to do it. And a really nice looking bumblebee at that. It does have a little bit of spotting. When you add pastel to the spider, you tend to get a little more of that than you do with just the spider by itself, even in our lines. But all in all, I really like the color on the snake. I would not hesitate to breed the snake if it was in my collection. Really, really pretty snake. Whew. All right, now let me tell you, this is a part of the video you don't want to miss, because this is probably the best example of this combo that I'm going to show ever. I don't think I'll ever make one this nice again, at least for my eyeballs. And what we have here is just a phenomenal pastel Axanthic. Or sorry, pastel Calico. A phenomenal pastel Calico, 100% head Axanthic. What I want you to look at when I'm telling you it's phenomenal, you're probably saying, well, why is this phenomenal? Look at how much white comes up in this thing's tail. The color, like the amount of white through here, that's what you really want in your calicos. This is a very, very high white calico. Very, very nice. And then look at how crazy that tail pattern is. You got that orange flaming coming up. This is probably the side that's the most normal. The other side, the orange flaming is all along the bottom, but it's all along there. And the entire tail is linked up. Just one big calico spot. And even up high on the snake, you have a really nice amount of white. It doesn't get better than this for a pastel calico, y'all. It just doesn't. This is it. This thing's badass. Like, man, if I had a need for keeping a snake and I could justify keeping this one, I would do it. I would do it. I am going to probably cry a little bit when I sell this. This is one of those things that I say it's going to be for sale, but I might change my mind. And the reason I might change my mind is because it's just so damn good, and it is a female. Proof of how good that snake is right here. This is another female pastel calico head Axanthic. This is a nice snake. It's going to look pretty pedestrian by comparison. And it's a really nice pastel calico, really nice white, not near as high as the other one. Tail's got a lot of creases, good white in the tail. It's going to keep showing up. But again, this one just, as far as the expression of the morph, doesn't hold a candle to the last one I showed. This is where we talk about quality, and we're going to probably charge about the same for these two animals because they're the same genetics. But if I was picking one and I was quick on the trigger, I can tell you which one I'd be taking home if I was you. I wouldn't hesitate to have this one. This is a good animal, high quality animal, really nice color. That other thing is out of this damn world, plain and simple. You can't go wrong. You'll never pull out that pastel calico I showed before and have somebody go, never going to happen. Shouldn't happen with this one. But that one, if they don't know what, then they just don't know what a pastel calico should look like, because it's just phenomenal. But this one too, let me show off a little bit of its highlights. Really nice on the body there. Now, if you don't like it to link up as much, this one doesn't link up, but you can still see the crazy pattern. You can see the whites come about midway through. That is really, really nice. A little above midway, same kind of crazy linking, but not all the way through. Busted up, good flaming throughout. Total different look in the pattern than the last one. White coming up through here, but the front of the snake is not going to have as much. So it's going to really kind of change as it goes through for a lot different look. There you can kind of really see how high the white really is on this one. It is really, really nice. It just, man, that other one's crazy. So let me put this little one back. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys that I did not hit the killer bee. I did not hit a killer bee head Axanthic calico. I didn't. I hit two of them. This is the first one. They're both male. So there's a reason why I didn't keep them beyond. I did not want the spider in there because of the male I plan on using for this. Although I could have adjusted that if I'd had a really nice one. But, you know, we were going to get part with both of these. It'll be one of these that we're assist feeding because they just need to get a meal in them. They're a little slow starters. But to give you an idea of how these things look at the tail on them. Really cool snakes. You can see what the calico's really doing in there. It's almost like it's the erase ring part of that out. The white comes up really, really high. And then you can see it's just almost like a dotted area over down there. The white's coming up really, really high. The yellow is very, very paled out. This is an awesome snake. And both of these are about the same quality. Both of them are super, super nice. And again, this is what you would call a killer bee calico head axanthic. So just to run through the genes for you in here, we have pastel, we have spider, we have calico, and we have head axanthic. So there's 5 genes going on in there. That's me separating the pastel genes to count them as 2 separate since it's an incomplete dominant, making a super, but just beautiful, beautiful snake. For comparison purposes, I'll get the other one out. And then, like I say, we'll go over to Patreon and we'll show you in full gruesomeness how we work on an assist feed here. This is the other one. And again, very, very similar snake. I'll get its tail out so you can see it. Not much different going on. But again, these last 2, they're the ones that have been a little bit slow starters. And this is a great example of when I look to start assist feeding. So these were born fairly large, so they had some size they could give. But you see that line right there, where you get that little bit of a fold starting? That tells me, okay, we've used up everything we need to start getting meat in us now. And if we're not going to choose to eat on our own, I'm going to do it for you. That's what that line means. That people often ask, well, when should I start assist feed? Is it after a week? Is it after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks with the baby? It's before you get spine completely sticking out and you're starting to see that line. So I want to still be around, which we are. But when I start to see that line, it's time to start assist feeding if they're not eating on their own. That's a telltale sign, y'all, that I look for at how I do things. So since this is our last snake, Kurt, do you got any questions before you go over to Patreon and start cramming food down these things' throat?
So next...
He does.
So you mainly did this to get those genes into axanthic?
Yes, so the whole goal of doing this was, one, I really wanted to make these killer calibes. I thought they'd look really, really cool, and I'm not disappointed in them. And if I was going to do it, I might as well do it with axanthic. You know, we have a lot of these genes in axanthic already, but I haven't really got calico in my axanthic stuff. And it can be fun, I think, to do that with some genes that lighten. Calico axanthic by itself, not my favorite combo, but with other genes, it'll be really nice. And so by using the super pastel version that we kept back, we'll never make a straight calico axanthic. It can't happen. But the pastel calico axanthic, I think, will be really, really cool. So yes, we did it to get something to hold back with more calico and also some axanthic. But I also wanted to see these. I love making pastel calicos. I just do. They're one of my favorite 2-gene combos. So are calibes. We did not get a straight calibe, but we got the killer calibe for comparison, which I wanted to do. So that would be why. Anything else, Kurt?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to put this little one back and go to Patreon for some assist feeding.